G'day, and welcome back to the Torment Tides of Numenera Alpha Systems test. We're going into part 3, which tests the crisis system. So the crisis system is combat. That's really all it is. Except that, at least based on the most recent Kickstarter update, these combats are much more finely crafted than a typical RPG. They're not just going to throw a bunch of spiders at you. You're dealing with people and creatures with goals, with desires that will run away if the battle isn't necessarily going their way, that will, react appropriately. You're also dealing with a more interactive environment. We'll see how it goes, right? Obviously, that's the promise. And this is the test. This will be the most finely crafted, I would expect, of all of them because it's the one that they get the most feedback on. Unfortunately, the game continues to run really badly on my computer. I'm going to blame this on the fact that it's an alpha and that my computer is not actually that good. We'll find out. Alright, let's get into this thing. Thank you for participating in the third Alpha Systems test for Torment. This system test focuses on our crisis system. It picks up immediately where the previous Alpha System test left off. We appreciate any feedback you have as you play. Koro, as you step onto what looks like the back of an enormous construct, 4 strangers approach. In the lead is a wiry man with parallel scars running from cheek to collarbone. On the left-hand side of his face, he gives you a welcoming smile, pulling on grey gloves embedded with pulsing lights. Hey there, friend. I'm looking for information. A falling star landed here not long ago. I don't suppose you are around to see it. Okay. Calistige, she leans towards you and whispers, "Don't trust him, child. I know Koro. I'll wager he knows exactly where and who the falling star is, and he won't let it go without a fight." So, one of the things that to be aware of in this test is they want you to fight. This test is pointless if it doesn't also actually include a fight. So, we're not going to get away from this. In the full game, apparently you can, but here we can't. So let's go with, what are those gloves for? Let's find out more about our opponent here. Unwelcome but anticipated complications. He does not elaborate. Okay. He's a clever boy who does so love his ambushes. Calistige whispers in your ear again, even though her mouth is closed and she isn't looking at you. The gloves are a new toy, but I'd wager they're connected to devices in the area. Let's go with nice scars. How'd you get them? So, the star. Have you seen it? Right. 2 things are more dangerous than death in this world. Asking impolite questions of strangers, and playing with Numenera you don't fully understand. My error was in the latter category. I've grown more careful since. So, where did this star land? Well, if I knew that, I wouldn't be reduced to harassing noble travellers. I never saw it, you see. My employer did, and thought, who's the most trustworthy team I can send at a moment's notice? Luckily, they were on another assignment. We were interested, and we weren't too drunk yet, so... Oh, this is not good. Let's just get on with it and see if that resolves itself. Otherwise, I'm going to have to reboot. Well, not reboot, but restart the game. Let's go with I fell from the sky. There was no star. I thought so. Towards your honesty, I shall be honest in return. You have 2 choices here. Both of them are dreadful. First option, you surrender to us, but we convey you to my employer for, well, experimentation and dissection, frankly. It's not pretty, but there it is. Second option, we kill you and the old man, try not to kill Calistige, and bring your body to our employers anyway. Apologies, sweetness. Alijan whirls on Calistige with his face tight with fury. You told him we were here, didn't you? Sorry. You told him we were here, didn't you? You couldn't resist selling me out one more time. darling. Take your thugs and go home. Otherwise I'll have to rip you to pieces, and the world is already so untidy. What do you say, Fallen Star? I'm not going anywhere with you. Surrendering is, allowed, but otherwise, yeah. Alright, I'm going to skip the basics because I've gone through this scenario before. I'll go through it when we're actually fighting. Alright. So he deactivates bridges. You get an initiative roll. Everyone rolls initiative. So here, the party always seems to end up going together. I don't know if that's just coincidence because this is only the second time I've played. But you've got each enemy moves. Well, this all happens in order. And once we finish, we'll get to me. Okay. So, you've got 3 actions. You've got your basic movement, which is this green. You've got what they call an inertic action. It's a quick action. It's basically what you use to change weapon sets in, the full game. It's what you use to use some special abilities, generally things you can use once or twice, often they're Numenera. And then you've got a full action, which is your attacks, your taunts, your other special abilities. Now, the other thing that's worth noting is you can see that enemies have hit points here, right? So 22, 19, 15. Players don't. What happens is you've got your 3 stat pools, intellect, might, and speed. And when you take damage, you lose points from those stat pools. And when you run out of all of them, then you go down. So that makes players pretty tough. But on the other hand, it also means that all of your abilities are activated through your stat pools, which is not ideal. So, other things. We can interact with our environment here. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the sentient spike to pick on this guy because he's weak. No, I'm not, because I don't have the distance to do it. Alright, cancel that. Escape does not straight cancel. That's not ideal. What I want to do is I want to move here and I want to interact. Moving here, I'm hoping that I can still interact and hit this guy. There we go. So here, you've got your basic test. One of the improvements I really like is that they're actually telling you the difficulty number of each test. So here, for free, I can just hit him on a 6+. Or I can spend 2 speed to make it easier. Not sure if I can actually, it also mentions using it to do damage. Ah, right, accuracy damage, right. So I can go damage this. It's still +6, like 6+ on a d20. So it's reasonably likely to happen. And if I hit, I do 7 damage. So I missed. Damn, that's not good. Let's interact with this. So, there's a shallow depression in the surface here, like many others scattered around the construct. Unlike the others, energy still pulses across this one in random intervals. There's a loose lens at the center of the depression. You think you could redirect it somewhere more useful, but it'll be tricky to get it between the energy pulses. Consume action to redirect the lens to protect the energy. Use of protective energy. Sure. Again, well, here we can just use it to make it easier. I'm just going to leave it as standard. Let's see. Here we go. Rolled an 8. Easy. With careful timing, it's easy to twist the lens into what's hopefully a more favorable position. The lens glows, warning of an impending energy pulse. The field of energy extends outwards and, finding a human body, encases it entirely in a mystical suit of armor. The energy keeps flowing until the entire body is covered. Then the shallow depression becomes dark and dormant. So, I just gave myself a fancy shield. Cool. I approve. And that's my turn. There's not much left to do here. So Calistich, she is a nano, which means that she has various abilities. Again, I think I want to focus on dealing with Vilnik. Although I'm quite tempted to just see what else I can interact with in the environment. Okay. Flickers of greenish energy race across the rancid organic fibers in the center of a metal disc. A slight yet implacable sense of unease surrounds the device. So I can wrench fibers out, or I can touch them and try and attack an enemy with it. And she's got 2 different abilities which interact with this, so that should make it pretty easy. So let's do that. So you can see, right? This is routine for her. She's got 2 assets. It's a standard difficulty test that drops it down 2 tiers to 0. She will definitely succeed. Critical success, because you still roll. I don't think you're meant to do that in the tabletop game, but whatever. The waves of dread coming from the device are the direct result of psychic energies coming from deep within the construct. With focus, those energies are directed out at Koro and his gang. As the psychic field penetrates their minds, they clutch their heads and double over in pain and nausea. Sweet. Alligan snorts. Is that supposed to help us? I notice you're unwilling to actually hurt them. Attack task. Critical success against Vilnik. Just a regular success against Ixa, and then nothing against Gawain and Koro. The device itself becomes dormant, and the feeling of unease around it is gone. Okay, sweet. And I also like that there's that interaction there. So these guys, it's morale degrader. So this guy will be out of bits and pieces. There's nothing else that she can do, because she's consumed her action. Okay, let's see. Is there anything else on here other than this that I can interact with? I think it's just this. Let's do this then. Oh, wow, that's right. He is super slow. So the only sensible thing for him to do... he's got the ability to heal. Cost 1, that's like nothing, honestly. So the sensible thing for him to do is to walk up here. Actually, Ixa, let's just hit Ixa. But I do want to get closer, so I'll walk here. I'll use the living tattoos, which basically will cost me 1 intellect, because reasons. He's got an ability which makes it only take 1, or it's a bug. Both of these are possible. And then he'll do extra damage, and he'll hit more easily. It's basically like there's no reason not to use this. So there we go, living tattoos got used. You can see that his intellect dropped down by 1, and now we will biff this guy. So we can now go to damage and make it 10 damage if he hits, which is what I hope should be pretty likely. 1d20 plus 2, so I only miss if he rolls a 3 or less. 13, he got a crit. That's awesome. Okay, and that's his turn. So Vilnik is... oh no. Immobilizes me. Jerk. Gets hit by the tar spout. Nice. Okay, you're tough, I'll give you that, but we ain't finished yet. He pulls out a can of spray flesh and quickly applies it to his ally's wounds. As he does so, you sense a regenerative energy field from the construct that could enhance the regenerative effects. You feel a surge of power, like when you drove away the sorrow fragments. You can't stop Koro's action, but you could disrupt the field. So this is, I guess, unique to the last cast-off, that you can mess around with some of these things. So I can use up some of the discovery points, which, if you've watched the previous alpha test, are things that you get for finding out things about the world. Or I can let it happen and gain 4 discovery points. So let's let it happen and see how much it heals him. The regenerative field interacts with the spray, making it more effective than normal. Koro smirks. Didn't I tell you, lads? Happened to me once before. Something in the reef interacting with the spray, I'll bet. Now take him. And so this healing... right. That's still only 6. Like, that's not really that much. Okie dokie. Ah, okay. Last cast off. Can't move. Can thrust to do more damage. Cost 1 might. I think that's pretty reasonable to do. Since I can't move, like, the only possible person to attack here is Gawain, unless I can talk. Let's go back. I don't know how to cancel an action without pressing cancel. Let's talk. He's too far away to talk. Okay. So I'll have to just smack this guy in the face. What we're going to do is, this is a difficult task. I guess that guy is hard to hit. So I'll make it easier. And we'll still miss. That's not ideal. Alright. That's my turn. Kellistage. So. The simple approach is to always attack the person that is weakest, which in this case is Ixa. So, can I do this? 1 level on accuracy, and then 1 level... Yes, I can! Alright, this is really going to drain her intellect pool, I guess? But that's pretty cool. Although... why is it now harder to hit? Ah, and I can spend 4 discovery points to immediately hit. What if I go back here and I change this? I go to damage. Okay, so I actually don't seem to be able to split it between the two. But I can just then immediately succeed using inspiration points. That's 10 damage. There we go. Ixa gets biffed, and Kellistage can run away. Which I think is sensible. She's also got the ability to teleport, which quite frankly means that she could get away from this whole event herself. You can see that the last cast off is basically out of health. That's not good. Okay. I'm going to get you to use your tats. I'm going to get you to then interact with this thing. Takes a little bit for some of these things to go. I said move up. Okay, there we go. A long tube emerges from the plating of the dead construct and winds upward. The duct terminates in a hollow cone. Every few seconds, a minute drop of green liquid drips out the end and steams as it strikes the ground. A round dial rests at the base of the cone, ringed by a thin crust of corroded metal. It appears to be a valve that controls the flow of the noxious substance, but it looks like it hasn't been moved in centuries. Let's try and turn that valve. Let's really... I could also have used discovery points on that. Can I still? Yep. Oh wow, that's just straight. Yep, 30. You can succeed at anything, but that is all of my discovery points. Wow, 6. Success! With a crack, the valve budges a centimeter. A thin stream of noxious fluid pours out of the nozzle and hisses into the metal surface. You open the valve a bit further and aim the ensuing spray. So here we go. This seems like... can I do something ridiculous here? I can. That's so dumb. Okay. Wow. So, like, I definitely want to put this on here. I don't know what is making this so ridiculously difficult. I really wish that there was a reason that it... Okay. Is this gonna actually tell me then? Okay. Outside range, 3 steps. Right. So this is... Right. That was useless. And he hit himself. Yeah, sure. Whatever. That was really disappointing. Whoa, okay. Knock down. Ixa. Run up. Missed. Alright, at least they're sucking too. That was a mistake. Distracted. Critically distracted. Well, the last cast-off is actually in pretty bad shape. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna rest. To regain some might. There we go. 6 might. They're also gonna run up to here. Get in the midst of them. That's probably not a sense. Oh, what's this? Oh, right. That's already been used. I don't even remember what it did. That's that done. Now, Calistitch. I'm kind of... Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see what these do. So she can phase out, and then she can teleport. To a spot within 10 meters. So why can't I teleport there? Fine. Well, your turn is done. Oh, I mean, I could just teleport like here. Or maybe I can't teleport at all. Okay, there we go. That's what the teleport looks like. I don't really know what that really got me. Honestly, that seems kind of lame. Okay, now, can I reuse this? Living Tats. Continues to drip. Open the valve and do it again. Okay. Did I just do nothing then? Yep, I did. Well, that's bad. Pressing escape then shouldn't just do nothing. That's just really lame. Ugh. Taskbout just killed a guy for me. So, one thing that's kind of difficult to notice here, but I'll go into it once I've got the thing back. Let's just see if I can scroll back. So, see this defense task thing. Numenera has an interesting concept. The players should roll the dice. The GM should never need to roll dice. So what you can actually see is whenever someone attacks a player character, so a party member, the die is rolled by them, and it's a difficulty task. So yeah, that's just an interesting aspect. I don't really have anything else to say about it. Can I really not talk to Korra anymore? Ah, there we go. Let's go talk to him. I know that you, like, he's someone we can talk to. Take him down, lads! We need that falling star. Consume action. Remind him he's fighting a woman who fell from the sky and survived. He can't win. Intimidation. Yeah, intellect task. Let's do this. Success! Critical success. Hazards the job. He tries to nonchalance, but the sudden fear is evident in his face. Anyway, it's too late for apologies. What started is done. Take him down quickly, lads, and dismayed. Cool. Admittedly, it'd be cooler if I was able to do that and still, like, do something. But this'll do. Right. See here, this is very difficult because he's far away. Let's move up here then. And if I do this now, he's less far away. I don't know why it is so far, like, so hard though. Seriously. You gonna give me this info again? So grab that. It's just difficult. This guy is hard to hit. Apparently. And now she can teleport back. Ah. So this is basically because she's started it. She continues to be able to teleport. You. Oh, right. Enter. Now it's your turn. You're faster now. Don't know why you're faster than you were before. Again, I'm just not able to keep track of what the heck is going on. Okay. 1 to 6. 1 to 6 of lower stat pool. I don't know why you would ever pick healing yourself over the others. Although actually I think I'm going to do it simply because this boosts the next heal. So now if he heals himself. There we go, we can do that. He rolled a 1, wow. Or the Fettle didn't take effect. Strange. Whatever. Energy net, that's the immobilized thing. 17 versus 18. Really? Really? Have to do better than that, mate. She just... Wow. That was only difficulty 9 defense. Because that was really out of range. Okay, so you... Let's run up and talk again. See what we can get. No more talk. I'm already acquainted enough. Alright. Well, then... Let's just... we can attack with speed or accuracy. So this is easier. They're actually both equivalent. But I have more speed pool to use. So if we punch, then that happens. If I thrust, then the other occurs. Enter. Calistage. What's this do? Oh, this is phase again. She doesn't need to phase again. Oh, except that it lasts 3 rounds. Gotcha, gotcha. Koro is actually not that hard to hit. Yeah, I don't seem to have the ability to pick between the two. Well, you know what? We'll just do this. Biff for 4. Okay, and then... hide behind this. Alright, what else we got? Alright, for all of the, like, hey, there's lots of stuff you can interact with, this still feels pretty much the same. Let's distract Filmic. That's all. I'm just gonna do the most basic. Distracted, critically distracted. Oh, and it lasts longer because of the tats, which we might as well use up again. I really am not feeling that, like, that 1 point cost. And, yeah, try and attack might doesn't work so well against someone with armor. Oof, but everyone's slowed. You'll have to do better than that, mate. Sure. Ow! Bleeding and everything. Jerk. He was trying to taunt me. Okay, last cast off. Last cast off is going to just biff one of these. This one probably. Dismayed and everything. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we'll just do this. 3 damage. It's not great, I have to say. And then you miss. cannot phase no more. I mean, she could do a basic attack, but I think that's only doing the 2-2 damage. Whereas here... let's just try and take out more of them. I'm gonna do this. This is stupidly risky. Probably gonna miss. Nope, that's a hit. That's a... rolled a 30. How can she possibly roll a 30? She had no bonuses to that roll. I'm confused, and how? Just how? I'm going to take a screenshot of that, even though I guess I could direct them to the video. Do you have any way of ranged attack? Nope. You know what you can do? You can heal the last calf stuff. Give him some might back. Whoosh! Only 4. Seriously? The tattoos are meant to boost healing. They say that. They say, like, next heal grants plus 3 points. But whatever. That's not working. Again, like a lot of these things can be attributed to the fact it's an alpha. It's a functioning game. It's just, you know, not always doing what I want it to do. Punched in the face. Yeah, see, that's 3 damage to might. In fact, it would have been 5. Here. You. Get straight punched. We'll make this simple to make it really sure that you fall over. Good. Fall down. And that's it. That's it. Next turn I want to try and talk him out of this whole deal. But in the meantime, she needs to rest, actually. Really wish I knew a better way of doing that. Okay. Just rest. Brief rest. I'm meant to be able to pick. I don't think I get to pick right now. I'll adjourn. What you doing? You are going to punch him in the face. But first you're gonna... oh, you've actually already had the fettle to do that. Ooh. Oh, right, that's interact with him. This is 7 damage. What if I boost 10 damage to Gowan? And that's it. Tossbout attacks. Doesn't quite hit him. Gowan. Gowan is like, shit, I'm on 1, I'm gone. Good choice, buddy. Good choice. Straight out runs. Excellent. So now, I should be able to try and get you to stand the frick down. No. Really? Dude, do you not understand the situation you are in? Here, look, I'm just gonna rest right now. You are kind of boned right now, dude. This lady right here? Whoops. I don't want to do that. Although, 8 physical damage. She's got a lot of speed. Yeah, let's do that. She has a ranged attack. Nice. I had assumed for some reason that she was also using a blunt weapon, but maybe actually looking at her weapons would have taught me something. And you... what I'm going to do here is I'm going to heal the last outcast, the last cast off, whatever, and see what happens. Task battle attacks. You now actually give yourself up. That's good. Koro looks around. The point of his crossbow droops as he takes in the direness of his situation. Well, Falling Star, it seems you put me at a disadvantage. What do you say we let bygones be bygones, He flashes a handsome smile. Remember, I'm just the employee here. All of us gotta eat. I'd rather past friends than wounded enemies, wouldn't you? A good suggestion. He's an honest boy, mostly, if you're on the same side. Of course you'd say that. I'd feel safer if both of you jumped in the reef. So, what I'm going to go here is I'm going to go... You won't get away that easily. You hurt us. We deserve some compensation. Right. Well, I guess I can't argue with that. Here. Fine. Now get out of here. Right. Much obliged. And there we go. That's one way of handling the crisis. We could equally have beaten him to death. In fact, the very first time I recorded this, I did beat all of them to death. Alright, that was a fiasco. I hope you learned something, kid. You can't trust her in any reality. Excuse me, are you suggesting I had something to do with Cora's plans? Are you suggesting you didn't? An old friend of yours just happens to be waiting for us, armed and outnumbering us. As we return from the greatest find this reef has seen in years, it's too convenient for me, too convenient by far. And this concludes the third Alpha Systems test. Thank you for playing. Please send us your thoughts via the in-game feedback button. Stay tuned for a beta release in the near future, and I will probably do videos on the beta release. Anyway, what I was saying before. Like, I have played, this is the second time I've played through this scenario. Last time I just beat every one of them to death. Combat is a little bit slower than I'd like. It's a little bit more rigid. It's a lot more Dungeons and Dragons, which is not actually that unreasonable, than like the standard, relatively standard turn-based action point system that I'm kind of used to. But, you know, it works fairly well. What I find really confusing is the target numbers. They keep changing, and it's not really clear why. And, for example, there was at least one literally impossible roll during that fight, where one of the party members rolled 30 on a d20 without any bonuses, without me using discovery points, I think. Although maybe on reflection I've got no discovery points left. Maybe I accidentally hit the discovery point use button. The sudden inspiration. Who knows? Anyway, again, I think this is interesting. I really like the art style of the place. I wish the game ran better on my system, but actually the fact that it's running at less than 10 frames a second according to the Steam FPS monitor kind of doesn't prevent it from running okay, like from working acceptably. So there's that. I hope you've enjoyed watching these. This will be the last one on Torment for a while, but there'll be other games in the future, and when they release a beta I will probably look at some of that, see how they've changed some of these things. And you've already seen changes to the interface as a result of that alpha. It definitely would be good to make sure that you don't need to have some familiarity with the Numenera role-playing system for some of these things to make sense. And I don't think they've really spent enough time introducing that. We'll see. Until next time, have a great day. Bye!